Okay, in this video, I will explain about lab exercise on design pattern where I have chosen observer, which is a behavioral design pattern. Okay, so basically, before this, you have done abstract factory or factory. Okay, in abstract factory and factory, it doesn't have this particular implementation, which is one to many. Yeah, so for observer, it has a one to many implementation, okay, between the subject and the observer. Okay, so meaning that you have a subject and you have many observer to observe that subject. So that's why you have one to many relationships. Okay, so let's look into observer. Okay, so before we look further, so what is the good thing about observer? So basically observer is a basic implementation that has been used in MVC. Yeah, where you can see that MVC is where when a model changes, okay, who observe it? So it's a view and controller, right? So uh, it's a subject, which is the model, and the observer is the view and the controller. Yeah, so it's a basic implementation of MVC. And also, if you refer to the our textbook, yeah, so it's also said that observer has been implemented in a language and framework such as Java. So if you check in JDK, like JDK library, the classes, it has observable and observer interfaces. So again, it implements the concept of observer. Okay, and also in .NET framework. Okay, so observer is very practical in its implementation. Okay, so let's see about the concept in observer, which have been implemented in real life example by Matthew Jones. So I'm really thankful for him for giving us this blog, because it really helps in understanding the implementation of design pattern in through real life experience. So I think you are, for those who have done your lab exercise before, I think exception not found blog is a very common blog for you now, for to understand more about design pattern. And in this blog also, it has other things, other concept or other knowledge, very vast knowledge on C sharp. So it it is very helpful for you if you want to know more about C sharp. Yeah. Okay. And also for today, for the exercise that I will show, the example of implementation is coming from again from his blog, the observer pattern in C sharp. Okay, so if you afford it, so you can buy him a coffee so that you in a way support his blog. Yeah, and also you can subscribe without any charge, yeah, for his blog also. Yeah, so let's start with the observer. Okay, I just show the implementation from Matthew John's blog. Sorry. Okay, so Matthew Jones have implemented the subject and observer in terms of wages, yeah, and restaurant, meaning that restaurant want to observe. Restaurant want to observe the price of the vegetable. Okay, and in this case, the vegetable is carrot. Yeah, okay, is carrot. The subject is carrot. Okay, so start with the class. So okay, we have 4 classes. We have the subject. Okay, so this subject is an abstract class, which is the wages. WEGGIES. Wages. And wages are okay, inherited by carrots. One of type. Carrot is a wages, right? Okay, so wages is a subject. Okay, remember it's a subject. wages is subject. Okay, and where are our observer? So in this case, our observer, our observer is the restaurant. So observer is implemented using interface. Okay. Okay. I don't have enough space, so I put interface at here. But basically, interface should be here. Okay. So this one is iRestaurant. The interface for the observer. Okay. And this interface is implemented, not inherited, implemented by restaurant. Okay. So what consists of a subject and observer? Okay. So the most important thing should be in a subject is what is being monitored, what are being observed. So in this case, the one that is being observed is the price of the vegetable. Price of the vegetable per pound. Okay, and also because subject is being observed by many observer, so it should have a one-to-many relationship. Okay, so remember back in your OOP, you have association where association can be implemented one-to-one or one-to-many. Okay, so meaning that the object of the restaurant, the observer, will be in here. So this is association. So will be in the wages. The object of the restaurant will be in the wages. So we have implemented. So the implementation of list really helps in order to store all the objects from the restaurant. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Restaurant. Okay. And also apart from the attribute. Okay. Apart from the attribute, so we also have the method. Yeah. So the most common one is the constructor. Okay, and also you can have a parameter for the constructor, and also the one that is really important is attach, because you want to attach the observer to the subject. Yeah, and also another method is detach, because you have to you can also delete the observer if the observer doesn't want to observe the subject anymore. Okay, and then you have another one, the very important one, which is notify. Okay, notify. So meaning that if any changes to this particular uh, attribute, so you can notify all your observer. That is the purpose. Okay, so attach and detach must have the object of the restaurant. Yeah. So object of the restaurant, you can see in the programming how you can attach. You can do a parameter object. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And also we have another one, which is price per pound. So this one I will describe further. So price per pound is basically a property where it can access the value of price per pound, which is a private here. Yeah, it is encapsulated here, but you can also access it from price per pound. So it is a kind of set and get implementation if you are in Java. So in C Sharp, you can have a very special set and get for your encapsulated attribute. Yeah, meaning your attribute is private, but you can still access. Okay, and also for the observer, uh, okay, iRestaurant, okay, iRestaurant. So the most important thing for the observer should be the update. Okay, okay, so this apa the interface. Okay, so you can have a parameter here. So this one, because the update want to update the information plus what are the name of the subject. So that's why you have an object of the wedgie here. Yeah, so it depends on the logic. Yeah. Okay. And also for those who either implemented or inherited from the so for example carrot inherited from the subject which is veggie, so it only have the constructor because everything is in the abstract class, everything has been described, yeah, in the abstract class. Okay, for restaurant you can have uh attribute for the restaurant because interface only have methods, right? So that's why you have a class restaurant where you can put all the attribute for that particular um class which implements the interface. Okay, so name and purchase threshold, meaning that threshold, so meaning that what restaurant do is uh it it stores the name of the restaurant and also purchase threshold, meaning if the restaurant have purchase threshold of 7.0 for example. Okay, and also when you notify when for example the price per pound has been notified as 5.0, okay, which is lower than the purchase threshold, so then the restaurant can buy the vegetable, because it's really saving their money, to buy the vegetable. So that is the purpose of purchase threshold. Okay, so and then because the update doesn't have any implementation, so you have to implement. Yeah, you write back what update can do. So basically, what update can do is to identify which restaurant that can buy the vegetable based on its threshold value. Okay, so that is the implementation of the observer in terms of this particular real life example, which is uh, the restaurant wants to observe the price of a veggie. Okay. Uh, okay. So now what do we have to consider? Okay. Now we come to the programming part. Okay. Okay. So things to consider when you are doing multi-tiers application. Okay. So when you are doing multi-tiers application, you are doing it. You are okay. What you do is you are adapting. Mostly design pattern sample application is in console based application, so it's using console.writeline. So you will adapt okay, or translate the 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 code into codes that can be event driven, can be uh, shown in event driven, so you cannot use console.writeline anymore. So for this example, okay, let's see the code now. Okay. So for example, we go for we look into the wedgie. Yeah. Okay. Which is wedgie is the subject. Okay. And also wedgie consists of uh uh the observer also. Okay. So in C sharp, okay, you can have lots of classes in a file, in a C sharp file. However, make sure you have a namespace con to make all your classes in one particular container. Okay, so because you are putting the wedgie in a business logic layer, so you must make sure that your namespace is basically the observer implementation dot bll. Okay? So observer information is about object dot bll is a folder. Okay, and because also it's a multi-tier, meaning that you have to access, you have to access uh, all the methods from the class, from the veggie class, in the another tier, which is the user interface. Okay, so basically, in order to show the and the observer and the subject, so basically I have put three restaurant, so just like the example in the design pattern code given by Matthew Jones, three restaurants. Okay, and also we save all the observer restaurant in a list. Okay, it should be when you put the price of the carrot, price of the carrot, so you can notify all the observed restaurant on the new price. So basically, uh, it will update. Okay, based on the notification, the observer will be updated. Either they can buy, or they couldn't afford to buy the vegetable based on their threshold value. Okay, so that is the uh, sample. Okay, I stop here and then I will continue back with the implementation of the coding for this particular design pattern.